What's good? We back, Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building, talking some Detroit Pistons basketball. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow on the mic, and talking about shooting guard Luke Kennard. And the Pistons have planned on experimenting and trying to develop him as a point guard in the summer league. He had an injury, so it delays that. But like I said in a video a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I thought Luke Kennard should start playing more point guard. You know. I think why I say that, and I watched him play some last year, I thought that he played the game the right way. I never seen him play without him play outside of his abilities last year. Even as a rookie, he was poised, he took good shots, he played the game the right way. And that's probably a product of playing under Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K at Duke. And anytime a guy has the ability to play within himself and not go outside of his realm of ability on the basketball court, I'm cool with it. And people say, well, maybe you can defend some of these point guards. Maybe that might be something. I ain't worried about that. Nobody in the NBA really plays defense. The best defensive point guard that I know is John Wall. And I know that point guard in Portland don't play no defense. Damian Lillard, no way. And Luke Kennard is 6'5". He already got a height and length advantage over your average point guard. And like I said, I think he is a guy that Dwayne Casey can mold and be in the developmental future point guard. You know, I think it's done trying to develop and mold Reggie Jackson into a point guard that he needs to be and that he can be. I think you beating a dead horse dead. I think you talking to a brick wall trying to get it to turn into a foam wall. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I think Luke Kennard's mind is still young enough. I think he has the wherewithal. I think he got the IQ, the ability in the game to become a formidable point guard. And, the Pistons saying, they think they got the point guard on the roster. Some fans saying Reggie Jackson. Some people like Ish Smith. I think Luke Kennard is the point guard that can grow into being that starting caliber point guard. I think it's a guy that will listen. I think a guy that can pick his shots the right way. I think, he can get guys involved. You could teach him to be that facilitator. You could teach him to be the leader. He's young enough where you can mold his mind. For Reggie Jackson, he's already developed in his mind playing under Westbrook that he want to be like that. He want to be that point guard that takes all the shots, that takes more shots than the next guy on the court. And I think Luke Kennard, the struggle with him is just, handling the ball, getting his handles up a little bit, which they're already good now. Learning to play the pick and roll as a point guard, not just coming off and having a shooter's or scorer's mentality. Learning how to balance when to score and when to shoot and when to get your teammates involved. And I think Dwayne Casey can help him with that. He helped Kyle Lowry develop into a formidable point guard. He was coming from Memphis. And Kyle Lowry nobody could foresee him in the middle of his career becoming an all-star point guard. And I think Luke Kennard is just as athletic, if not more athletic than Kyle Lowry. I think he's going to be a better, more consistent shooter than Kyle Lowry. And I think he can become a better facilitator than Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying? Under Dwayne Casey, his mind is still young, and you still can form him how you want to form him. I think the Pistons may have just looked up and drafted their point guard of the future. And I think it's imperative to get him, learning the offense, calling out the plays, the pick and roll, the isolations, the backdoor cuts and penetrating and dishing, and not just being, one-track scoring minded. And I think Luke Kennard, should be the point guard eventually. A year of tutelage or a couple years of tutelage at the point guard position. If he's ready to overtake Reggie Jackson, or if he's ready to start the point guard position because Reggie Jackson gets injured, that's another reason why Reggie Jackson can't be the point guard. You need your point guard 82 games a season if you can. You don't need him for 50 or 30 or 20 or 60 games. You need him all 82. And Luke Kennard is durable, young, and he only can really get better. I didn't see no real, bad signs from him as his rookie year. Man, that boy can really shoot. He really know how to get to his spot, get to his groove. Now, can you teach him how to get how other players get to their spot and get to their groove? Because let's keep it real. You really don't want Blake Griffin being your point power forward or being your primary ball handler. You don't want that every time up and down the court. You want somebody like Luke Kennard that can get him in this position, get him on the block, get him in the pick and roll, that can drive and kick and dish and hit his wing players and give very easy alley-oops, that can make big-time plays and big-time shots in the crunch time. And Luke Kennard can do all that, man. He's a very crafty player. And, the athletic ability, I'm not worried about that. He's quicker than most, You know, he's faster than average, and we can deal with it. You know, I think they have a better opportunity and a better chance of developing Luke Kennard as the point guard to be the guy, as a Chauncey Billups type of guy, you know, than Reggie Jackson. I think Reggie Jackson, that ship is sailed at trying to get him to be the point guard that you want him to be. Because, one, you got to change his mentality. You got to tell him that Westbrook mentality that you have, and that's not what we want. You know, we don't want you to take more shots than Blake Griffin or take more shots than whoever else on the court. We want you to do what's right. Now, if it's deemed right that you got to take more shots this game, cool. But we want you to get guys involved. We want you to come off the pick and roll looking to facilitate and make the right play. We don't want you to come off the pick and roll and drive and float or come in and shoot the jump shot 80% of the time. You know, we want you to dish it, or when you drive and not always look for the floater. That's hard to get him out of that scorer's mentality, and that's what he knows, and that's all he knows. I understand he's a physical specimen, he's tall, he's big, but first of all, you got to get him healthy and get him on the court for 82 games, and that seemed to be impossible as well, too. I would put my time and my developmental food for thought, my nutrition into developing Luke Kennard as the point guard. You know, and if it don't work, he always slide back to the 2. But one thing you know for Luke Kennard, he's a consistent knockdown shooter. He plays the game the right way, and he's young enough where you can mold his mind and help him develop into that starting point guard. And that's one thing I know, you know. And what would be some of the challenges for him? You know, just being a facilitator, you know, passing, you know, learning the plays, learning to be the leader, you know, learning to get the guys to follow behind you. And that's it for him. You know, once he learns to facilitate and make the right plays and pick his spots when he needs to be aggressive and when he needs to fall back and when he needs to shoot shots, it'll fall in place, you know. Once he get that comfort level with Dre and Griffin and Stanley and Reggie Bullocks, when he gets that comfort level with knowing his team and developing into a real veteran and not being looked at as the rook no more, he'll be just fine, man. I think Luke Kennard should, you know, be at the point guard position right now. And if it don't pan out, it don't pan out. He always can fall back to the 2. And one thing you do know about Kennard, that he gonna make the right play. He gonna have a good shot selection. He gonna knock down an open jumper. So it's always space for on the team for a guy that's a knockdown shooter. And former McDonald's All-American, former Dookie. I like to see Luke Kennard be at the point guard position, just like Donovan Mitchell did with the Utah Jazz. You know, he was that slash shooting guard, point guard position. But I want to see Luke Kennard eventually, probably not this year, maybe not next year, develop into the primary ball handler for the Detroit Pistons, and I think he's the right guy for the pickings. I just see him play within himself. He don't go outside his realm of ability. I like to see that. Let me know what y'all think about, you know, Luke Kennard possibly being the future point guard for the Detroit Pistons and Dwayne Casey molding him. Like I said, I think it's a waste of time trying to, you know, develop and get to Reggie Jackson and get him to be that point guard. You know, I honestly do. I think that ship is sailed for him. You know, but we'll see. Smart to see sports talk. Much blessings around the way. Hopefully all you guys enjoy your 4th of July and don't drink and drive. And don't blow your finger off. Let Jason Pierre-Paul and be safe tonight and get ready to go to work or enjoy the rest of your vacation for your weekend. It's Smart to see sports talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, and you know, gonna shut it down for the night. We talked about some Lions earlier, so hopefully you guys caught that video. We're going to continue to pump more videos out in the next few days. Unless something comes up, peace. Enjoy your holiday. Y'all know what it is. We gone.